science behind a pint is one element of what I'm going to talk to you about. But what I really want to talk about is a higher love for drinks. I got a great intro there, as in I am Aaron, and I own Homeboy Bar and just recently opened a bottle cocktail shop. And for me, drinks has always been about building trust up with people. And whether that's pouring the perfect pint of Guinness or that's making someone an amazing cocktail, it's about building trust up. So I always like to say that first and foremost, I'm a student of hospitality. I just want to look after people and get to be in their world for a couple of hours while they're having a drink and enjoying themselves. So where was my love born for drinks? Well, innately, it's in who I am. I guess I love looking after people, but there's definitely an element of being Irish. In Irish history, there was laws that were more civil laws rather than penal laws, and they were called the Brehon laws. And the Brehon laws were a set of laws that dictated how people lived their life. And they had a lot of laws based on hospitality. So if someone came knocking at your door looking for hospitality day or night, you had to offer them 4 key actions. Those key actions were a warm bed, a warm meal, drink, and entertainment. And that's why we wanted to bring that idea of modern Irish hospitality to people, because that stuff still rings true, but we're not all the diddly-eye Irish that we're portrayed as sometimes. We're the people who've gone around the world and built cities and been innovative and done great things. So I guess, where my higher love for drinks comes from is my city of Dublin that raised me. And I'd like to share with you a little poem I wrote about my city of Dublin. It's my Dublin was caring and killer, thriller and filler, but always a winner. The right amounts of extroverted and introspective, but always connected. Self-knowledge, less self-absorbed, always dramatic and romantic, but never bored. And beers were never to beat down fears or to beat back tears. They're meant for friends just met or friends for years. And I've had many a cheers that have brought me to tears, vowing unspoken love because those who I spent time with, I did so for all the above. And for all the experiences of atmosphere and the higher purpose that life is about jest, that's why, in my heart, Dublin will always be the best. Well, thank you. But that care and love for that, you have to translate that into everything. It needs to start with the welcome when you come in the door and then go into the love you put into a drink. And us and Homeboy is we got nominated as one of the world's best cocktail bars and all that, which, if you looked at our little cute bar in Islington, you'd go, really? It's not a 5-star hotel? But what we put first and foremost ahead of everything was that hospitality. And what we pride ourselves in is that level of detail that we look into in a drink. Yes, our cocktails are amazing, but that has to translate to our pint of Guinness. And we talk about, the guys were keen for me to talk about the perfect pint of Guinness and what makes the perfect pint of Guinness. That's a half an hour talk. I won't be doing all that today. But basically, the key points are the right gas, cleaning your lines, not too often, but often enough. Some places do it way too often. Pouring the perfect pint of Guinness. It is that care and attention. 45-degree angle, don't let the nozzle in the beer, wait for it to settle. It takes 119 seconds to pour the perfect pint of Guinness. Always make sure when it's topped up, it's a little bit proud of the glass. There's loads of little anecdotes from there of what makes a great pint of Guinness. People say, it's not just the liquid in the glass, it's the feeling in the room. There's a pub in Dublin that I love, and it's right beside a graveyard. It's called the Grave Diggers. Diggers used to put their spades through the railings and take the pints back in. And the bar's there hundreds of years. And, for a bar that's beside a graveyard, you think maybe that's a bit somber. But I suppose in Ireland we do love a wake. So, but you get this innate feeling in that room that there's history and people have enjoyed themselves. My first pint after COVID was 10:30 in the morning. My father picked me up from the airport and we went straight to the Grave Diggers. And my father bestowed a couple of rules about Guinness on me as a young man that I have gone forth to bestow on anyone who'll listen to me. He said his number one rule is always wait for it to settle. You've waited long enough, you can wait an extra 30 seconds, all right? Wait for it to go completely black before you take your first sip. If you drink it, he used to say to me growing up, if you're drinking less than 3 sips, you're a pig. I'm fairly sure that one was just directed to me. If you're drinking more than 7, you don't deserve it. And if you take that long to drink it, that the head starts to go yellow, we'll take it off you. And then from there, you see like those social implications of, those little things about Guinness. You see on Instagram now, there's shit London Guinness and all these things, and people playing the Guinness game. And I'm going to stamp it out right here. There's only one Guinness game. It's not between the harp and the Guinness sign. It's not split the G. It's split the E. And this game was born from bar staff out on their Christmas party, waiting for the boss to come put his car behind the bar, and them ordering. Oh, good man. That is. Thank you very much. I'm a big man, but that's a massive beer. Where was I? And the bartenders were waiting for the boss to get there. So they were all arguing about who pays for the round. And the way they were going to decide who paid for the round was who got closest to the middle of the E. So they were all determined to get close to the middle of the E. And the guy that won, he paid for the round. And after that, it was right, let's go again. And hence why it's a bit of a dangerous game. But it's everything from that pint of Guinness that you'll enjoy to things like a glass of whiskey. There's an Irish poet called John B. Keane who was just interviewed by the BBC in his house and asked, does he like a drink? And he just went off on one about how there's no man on this earth that loves alcohol as much as I. He said, I love it. I love everything about it. I love the cork coming off a bottle. I love the plop of whiskey in a glass. I love that first violent sip when it hits the back of the throat and then hits the spot. And it's even greater followed with a pint of Guinness. I just love that. And it's those convivial things that have just spawned so much inspiration to people. Hosier did that Humours of Whiskey recently, just a beautiful rendition of, come guess me this riddle, what beats pipe and fiddle? What's hotter than mustard and milder than cream? What best wets your whistle? What's clearer than crystal? What's sweeter than honey and softer than steam? What can make the dumb talk? What can make the lame walk? What's the elixir of life and the philosopher's stone? And what helped Mr. Brunel to dig the Thames Tunnel? Sure wasn't it whiskey from old Inishowen? So stick to the creature, the best thing in nature, for drowning your sorrows and raising your joys. And boys, I'd half wonder if lightning and thunder were made from the plunder of whiskey, me boys. From a pint to a glass of whiskey to what I suppose I guess I made my name on is cocktails. And when I worked in Dublin in the bars, and I always get poached to go from this bar to that bar, and the bar owner would always be like, I'm going to hire you because you're the cocktail guy. And I was like, I'm not the cocktail guy. I'm going to make your guests feel special guy. And it's that level of building trust up that I think is so important. When someone comes into your bar, they want a drink, and they're going to have a cocktail. That drink I have to make perfectly for them in that moment. A beer has been put into a keg for 88 people. That's been put into a keg from a tankard for thousands of people. So it's the ultimate opportunity to create a bespoke experience for the person sitting in front of you. And that's what I love. And that's why I love my industry. That's what gives me that instant job satisfaction. Being able to hand someone a drink, ask them, how's your drink? And then say it's delicious. Or if it's not, get an opportunity to fix it, but I haven't had too many of that. So it's a job that I enjoy, and it's why I have a higher love for drinks, is because it means I can be in a job that I enjoy because I bring joy. I hope you all have a higher love for drinks after this. So this is the parting glass. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy may be with you all. Cheers.